If I could, I'm going to have everybody get into the vineyard and get in amongst the grapes so you'll know what we're talking about. So pick a vine for a buddy. All right, well, we're in the east portion of our vineyard. I'll tell you a little bit about the property. This property is 40 acres. Everybody hear me okay?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
This property is 40 acres. 20 of it is in Ash Creek, where you see all the trees. It's a completely different ecosystem than up here. There's live oaks, there's sycamores, there's ash, there's pine trees, there's juniper. Anything that grows up on that mountain rolls down the hill and plants itself here. So there's all kinds of interesting flora and fauna in the creek. But this side of the property is where all the vines are going to be. That's unplantable down there because it runs, and the grapes would be in Alfreda by the time we caught up with them. So a couple of reasons why we picked this place. One, we did meet, as I mentioned, Rod and Jan, and we found out you can grow fine wine grapes in southeast Arizona. But really, in doing our research, it all started with the mountain. And that's Chiricahua Mountain over there. That's 10,000 feet elevation. That's the largest of the Sky Island mountain chains in southeast Arizona and northern Mexico. And a lot of the weather that we get here is very, very strongly influenced by that mountain. We get the cool breezes off that mountain. I've been out here and working in the field, and it's been 95 degrees. I've gone into lunch and come out, and it's been 61. It all depends on what the weather's doing on that mountain. So we get that real temperature change here, which fine wine grapes love. If you go to the great regions of winemaking, they have warm, sunny days and cool nights. And that 30-degree temperature differential between the heat of the day and the cool of the night is what makes great grapes. It thickens the skin, which is where most of the flavor comes from. It also allows the sugars to concentrate overnight, so you get much more rich flavors. We get that kind of weather here. We also get quite a bit of rain here. As you can see, it's quite green. As you got over this way, it probably got greener and greener, and right now it's pretty green. We've had about 8 or 9 inches of rain just this month. It's the grapes like the rain. We're all individually irrigated, so we don't need it. But there's something about that mother's milk that, especially the baby grapes, really like. They like the rain. Another reason we picked this spot is the soil. If you noticed, it's kind of red. And once again, that's benefits from the Chiricahua Mountains. About 16 million years ago, this was an active volcano, and it exploded, and all of the debris came this way. And there's a plume of this red soil that starts about a quarter mile down the road and goes to the creek. And we think this red soil, which is comprised of decomposed rhyolite granite, ash, and other compounds, is going to really bring some interesting character to our wine. And it's a very, very small area where this red soil is. As you leave today, if it's still daylight, and you can still see, you'll see where the red stops about right up here, and it turns to white. The ground turns white. So we think the soil is very interesting. Also underneath you is about 24 inches of that red soil. Under that is I don't know how many feet. We've dug down about 20 feet, but it's just a honeycomb of boulders about this big around, and there's millions of them just in cutting one cross section. And we think that decomposing mineral content and the grape vines and the grape roots getting into that rocky soil is a lot like the Rhone Valley of France. And that's another reason we chose Rhone varietals for our grapes here. So we have Syrah, Grenache, Petit Syrah, and Viognier are our 4 grapes that we've planted so far. We've got about 8.5 acres in the ground, and we'll have about 16, as I mentioned, when we're fully planted out on this side of the creek. And that'll keep our hands full. We've planted all of this in the last 2 years. We purchased the property in October of 07, and we had our first vines in the ground in April of 08, and we actually picked grapes off of our first plantings in the second year, which is pretty much unheard of. So we think that the place is great for growing grapes. The grapes are real happy, and so that's another reason why we picked this area, is the soil and the climate coming off the Chiricahua Mountains. Another thing reason that really influenced our decision here was the water. We're sitting on the largest aquifer in the state of Arizona. It's called the Wilcox Playa Aquifer. We have unlimited water here for as long as we're alive and want to be planting this ground with no restrictions on the water. the water is so pure we actually have to add things to it to get it to soak in. It's so pure water. We drink right out of the tap. It's just fabulous water. And so the water's great. There's lots of it, so we'll never be worried about water. And then another interesting thing here is we found this out. This creek has been inhabited for thousands of years. And people have been living off this land. This was actually found right in the creek. It's a metate. It's an ancient corn grinder. Here's the stone that went with it. And so people have been sustained here for a long time, so we figured probably sustain us too. So if we thought that, if people have been picking this place out for a long time to grow things, they probably had a pretty good idea, and we're going to follow through with it. So for those reasons, we chose this spot. And I don't know how many of you have ever heard the word terroir. That's a French term for everything that goes into a grape. And it's the soil, it's the climate, it's the weather, it's the air, it's the water, it's the history of the land. And that's the terroir, and that's why we chose this place, is for this terroir of the Chiricahua Mountains in this spot. And we think that this is going to be a great place not only to spend a lot of our time as we get older, but to grow some great grapes, make some great wine, and have great times with our friends and family. So that's the rundown on why we're here and why we think it's a pretty cool spot. What we're going to do now is talk a little bit about the grapes that you're looking at now. These were planted in April, just this year, and they are doing very, very well. These are Viognier, which is a white grape, and typically has very spicy characteristics, very aromatic, perfumey. It's a wine that can be made in a lot of different styles, and we're not sure what this place is going to give us yet. So we don't have anything in mind. We're just taking the grapes as we get them and trying to make them into something special. But each year it's going to be different. There's no history here of winemaking. There's no history of grape growing. So we're going to get surprised every year, and hopefully there'll be pleasant surprises and as opposed to unpleasant surprises. To tell you a little bit about how our vineyard's laid out, this is a single cordon system where we're trying to get one plant to grow up to the first wire. If you take a look at the plant, you'll see the lowest wire. That's called the fruiting wire. Now the plant is going to live its entire life on that wire. There'll be one stalk coming out and going to the next plant, and that's what we call getting out to the end. And so what we're looking for the first year is to get that plant out of the grow tube and down to the end of the next plant. If we can get that to happen about now, the plant will do what we call lignify. And that means it'll start to get some woodiness to it. That woodiness will allow the plant to survive the freezing temperatures of the winter and therefore bear fruit next year. If that stalk does not lignify, it will die back at the first freeze and have to start again the next year. So we were very fortunate that in the field we're going to go down to shortly, most of our plants got out to the end the first year, and so we got fruit our second year, which is just a bonus. You usually have to wait 3 or 4 years. How many of you see a plant that's gotten out to the end? How many are a little bit short? It's like about 50-50. So what we do is when they get out to the end, we actually cut them. And then we try to backfill it with vegetation that'll feed the roots before the cold weather comes and the leaves all fall off. After the first year, we will trim all of these plants back to that one cordon, that one cane. And that, once again, that's where the fruit will bear, and you'll see how that happens when we get into the fruit area. But the very important first year is to train that vine properly so it walks down that fruiting wire, and then we tie it to that fruiting wire to train it. We also tell the plant that how important it is to us. That's part of its training, and that it needs to become a moneymaker soon. That's a very important part of the training, more than you can see here. So this is Viognier. We've got about 2.5 acres of Viognier, and just to give you some perspective, you'll typically pick between 2 and 4 tons an acre when you have a good crop. Some of the places in California you can pick 6 to 8 tons. They've got a lot more density of their vines. During the heat of the summer here in June, which it gets close to 100 degrees here, it's quite a bit of stress on the plants. So we've chosen a pretty dispersed pattern so the plants aren't too crowded and aren't stressed. Plus they're easier to manage when they're not so close together. We can get a tractor down these rows. They're easier to pick because they're on that single cordon or on that fruiting wire. So that's what we've chosen here. So we have about 2.5 acres here. Hopefully we're going to get some grapes off of here this year. We planted 2 rows of Viognier last year. We had some extra plants from Rod's place, that we planted last year, and we picked our Viognier off of that last Wednesday, and it's in the winery now fermenting. It's only about 40 gallons, but could be a heck of a party when it's ready. And so far it's smelling and tasting really good, so that's a good start. So from here we're going to go down to our second year planting, and we'll show you what happened to us when last fall we had a real calamity with weather-wise. We'll show that to you, and you'll see what happened down there. And then we'll go on down to our third year Petit Syrah, and you're going to actually taste some wine that was picked off of that last September. That was our first harvest. We're going to taste some of that when we go back to the winery and see what you think. So let's move on down about 2 signs, and I'll meet you down there.